Hey, this is Geek Down. This is Pat B, and I'm in the house with.
Oh man, I don't got so thrown off on
You
that.
do this for a living, do you, my brother?
I was like,
hold on.
huh?
Wait, hold on a second. You
The
know what?
Thriller Priest.
All right, cool. You know what's up, man? I'm tired of these weak ass headphones, dude. It's been a long time since we actually had some clear sound. You know what I'm gonna do?
What you gonna do?
I'm gonna go to tweakedaudio.com, get us some like actual working legit products.
Okay.
All right, anyone knows tweakedaudio.com, you can actually go there and get good headphones that work at a decent price.
All right.
Actually dig this, man. I know this is like a plug. It's obvious, but dig this. We have a relationship with Tweak that gets you all, that's right, you the listening audience, 30% off if you use the code WEMF when you go to tweakedaudio.com.
30%.
That's right?
All right.
That's nice, right?
That's real nice.
That's pretty good, man. I like that.
Thank you. Once again, the code is WEMF. Use that and tell them we sent you. It's tweakedaudio.com. Check them out. And then thank you from the Geek Down. Peace. Hey, I'm Pat B. And in the house, Adam Willis could not be here, but I'm here with JM, the Thriller Priest.
Peace.
Just Johnny.
Yep.
And this is the Geek Down on WEMF Radio.
With bionically.
That's right, bionically in all directions, yo. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode. I'm amped, I'm jazzed, I'm pumped, I'm in the zone. Gotta get that out every week, man. Gotta, keep the vocals flowing. Otherwise, I can't espouse these dulcet tones to the people. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm just one of those moods, man. But yo, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of the Geek Down. I am Pat B. In the house, we are joined by, of course, my main man, my homeboy from way back, old school. I'm talking, of course, about JM the Thriller Priest.
Peace. I'm not going front. I actually started listening to the intro right there, and I'm like, is that Master Shake screaming? Get your hands off me.
I'm not going to say it is, but I'm not going to say it isn't, my brother.
Okay, I'll take that.
All right. And to the left of me, looking very, very focused, very in the zone, engineer supreme, engineer extraordinaire, and I can't really continue this line of alliteration, so I'll just say, just Johnny.
Yo again.
It's always understated, man. We got to get you like a corny catchphrase or something.
That's it, man. I operate on zeros and ones.
Oh, it's got what? Wow.
That is all.
Okay, you binary son of a... hey, and I look to the booth over there, my main man, keeping us sounding crisp and delicious every week, DJ Herbie Herb.
Hey, guys.
Hey. Oh, dude, you didn't have a soundbite this week, man. What's going on?
I know. I'm sleeping.
It's okay. I
that is a soundbite right there. That's a soundbite.
Oh, that's a soundbite?
He's sleeping. Yep.
Oh, man, he caught me.
With that.
Would you look at that? He caught me sleeping. Isn't that just a biz? All right. Well, in the house, we are not alone. If you are watching us on Twitch, you definitely should be, and thank you for that. If you are not, you can go to twitch.tv/thegeekdown, all one word, and you will see our pretty faces. And also in-house, we have creator of TimeWatch, the new tabletop RPG, action-based. There's horror, there's adventure, there's excitement, there's time travel. You can punch Nazis in the face.
Yeah.
Creator and all-around awesome guy, Kevin Kulp.
It really is all about punching Nazis in the face. Thanks. It's really good to be here.
Well, thank you for joining us, man. I'm saying, though, we really need to let people know. You don't like Nazis, goosh, catch them in the neck. That's how I play it, boom, right.
Especially if you can't run that fast like the guy did when he punched a Nazi in the face. If you can't run that fast, it's your closest thing to do it.
All right. Let's ease off the politics for 1 second, my brother. We have an action-packed, fun-filled show for you, as always, but we have to take a minute to get there, because before you have the fun, kids, before the fun can commence, dude, why is this show every week just like it's a running gag? There's deaths and sadness to start every show. It's ridiculous.
It really is, man. It's just it's starting to become a little much, but hey, it is what it is. It's my profession, so I might just eat this at this point.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry, man. The Thriller Priest is not just a clever moniker, dude. That is what you do.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
All right, man. Well, let me just jump into it real quick. Recently, we lost Mary Tyler Moore, beloved TV actress, icon, and pioneer.
MTM, man.
Passed away at age 80, dude. I mean, that is a good long life.
It is. It's a good run, but still, it came out of left field, man. Like, I love me some MTM, man. I used to watch her when I was a kid with my mama. Watching Mary Tyler Moore.
Yeah. Laura Petrie and those Capris, man.
Yeah, for real. She was Fox back in the day, boy.
Helps a young man through puberty. Family rated show, yeah.
We gotta keep it clean on WEMF Radio.
All right, so now she's best known as one of TV's most beloved wives. I mentioned Laura Petrie on the Dick Van Dyke Show. So I grew up with Nick at Night. I'm not that old, but that's where I got a sense of all this, a taste of all this in classic comedy. And the perfect foil for that was playing off of Laura Petrie, the wife. The key wives to me are like there's Laura Petrie, there's Carol Brady, there's Claire Huxtable.
Mrs. Huxtable.
And Roseanne Barr, Roseanne Arnold.
I can see that.
Yeah. But like I mentioned, she was a groundbreaking actress. She was also a producer, and she broke barriers playing like single 30s age women who were also working professionals. You know, back when that wasn't really a thing that was happening on TV. You know, and the media in general. Like you turn on movies, the damsel in distress thing is all you knew. Or she's the old witch. She's kidnapped your children. You gotta come back and get them, but then you gotta sacrifice a finger or an arm. I don't care.
I mean, you ain't lying on that one, man. Because one of the things that I gotta give it as props for is the fact that they keep Entertainment Tonight and all these other news networks are reporting Mary Tyler Moore's death. Kept showing the one clip of her arguing that she was an associate producer and she should be treated as such. And it's sad. I mean, it's a beautiful thing, but the sad part is there somewhere in America there's a woman screaming at the exact same line. That I'm an associate producer of the show, and you're still not giving me my damn due.
Dude, well, as a man raised mostly by a single mother, I want to say thank you for your efforts and making it possible for my own mother to make a living and keep me alive and well, so I can come on air every week and do this BS. So I mean, I'm damn appreciative. Johnny, what's the matter, man? You seem to have something to say.
No, I'm just adjusting my mic.
I see.
That is all.
Well, we're gonna edit that out later.
Post production.
Yeah. But no, she was also a passionate advocate for juvenile diabetes. She did extensive work with the Research Foundation. And I mean, I like when celebrities use their power as celebrity for good. This isn't like, the latest celebrity talent was caught with an upskirt and limo somewhere. This is actually someone who did a lot of good over the course of her career.
Absolutely, man. I mean, much of it's coming from the fact that she had her own tragedy. She was going through her own life, man, with her own alcoholism. I mean, her son accidentally killing himself. I mean, her going through divorces, you know what I mean? So she's seen this. She's been through it, man. So, I mean, I'm not surprised that she would take up a cause like that, just seeing all the hurt in the world in her own life and just saying, hey, I'm going to use my stardom to be able to benefit the lives of others because I've been through it, despite the fact that I am a celebrity and I have this success.
Well, dude, I mean, it's true. She did all that, and then her death came out of nowhere because she was still working. A lot of people think, you get to a certain point and you retire. She was actually making regular appearances on Hot in Cleveland. You ever watch Hot in Cleveland?
Nah.
Oh,
actually, no, I'm lying. I have. Yeah, I saw episode or 2. I can't front say I remember it all, but yeah, I do remember that she did make an appearance on it.
If anyone doesn't know, Hot in Cleveland is pretty much this generation's Golden Girls. I'm okay with it, man. Jane Leeves for years was just like my obscure across the pond fantasy. When it came to pure class of an English woman, it was all Daphne Moon.
I hear you.
Yeah. Wait, what? You don't know Daphne Moon? Johnny gave me this look.
No.
Like, are you out your damn mind? And I'm like, what?
No, I'm good.
Okay, all right, yeah, you got expressions.
He said
man.
no one can take the place of Blanche Devereaux. What you talking about?
You're right. Rue McClanahan. Yeah, I remember her very vividly for her work as 36, 24, 30. No. This is such a respectful obituary, man.
R.I.P. man. Blanche Devereaux, man.
Yeah.
You know how many people in the hood were mourning over her death, man? Like, that's Blanche Devereaux. Like,
that's right. Out of those 4, man.
Out of those 4, that's Blanche.
She liked the brothers, man. She was down with the swirl. No, but Blanche could hang. I'm just saying. All right, well, okay. We've gone down such a weird
little bit.
All right, but Mary Tyler Moore passed away on January 25th. Her death is attributed to a combination of pneumonia, hypoxia, and diabetes. She had actually struggled with that for a long time, and just finally claimed it.
Sad, man.
So Mary Tyler Moore, actress, producer, pioneer even, passed away age 80. Rest in peace.
R.I.P.
All right. You know what's messed up? Johnny's giving me notes while I'm on the air and distracting the brother. Yeah. We actually have. It doesn't end there, y'all.
No, it's not.
Because we lost Sir John Hurt. Now, if anyone doesn't know John Hurt, 2-time Oscar-nominated star of The Elephant Man, Harry Potter, and Alien. He passed away just recently. Now, if anyone doesn't know John Hurt the name, you most likely know John Hurt the face.
Absolutely.
And this dude did a lot of work, most notably in Aliens as the dude who he's talking about. Yeah, pretty much like the first what I'm gonna do after retirement speech. Yes. I'm gonna go back to Earth and get so and so, and then he drops on the table and just what's going on, man? The food ain't that bad. And then pull him out his chest.
The alien out his chest.
Man. Yeah. Oh,
that is a remarkably accurate recreation.
Thank you very much. I've studied that scene backwards and forwards. It's made its way very much into my. Reenacted it for my bar mitzvah. But no, that's John Hurt. I had like proper notes here too. I messed myself up, but Hurt was an acclaimed actor. He was a character actor, and he did voice work. A lot of people don't know this too. Like you've heard his voice, you know the roles he did, but probably aren't aware that was John Hurt. His career spanned 6 decades, dude. He's been doing it forever. Now, mind you, okay, before anyone jumps on me there, he is one of these dudes that's looked old forever. Like, yeah, it's like him, Wilford Brimley, Morgan Freeman. You know, these cats.
5 minutes.
Seriously. I'm Wilford Brimley. I'm here to talk about diabetes. Excuse me while I punch a baby. All right, now. No, that dude, you know what's messed up before, like Cocoon? We know him as like this old guy who talked that funny ways. Basically like the proto, oh dang, what's his name with the mustache? Dude out now. He's the proto Ron, not Burgundy.
Roman?
No. No, the other hardcore SOB.
Oh.
Yeah, the guy from Community. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, all right. Well, he's like the original him.
Yep.
And people don't know that before Cocoon and he was cast as this like, old crotchety guy, he played like ultimate badasses.
Yes, he did.
Yeah, he was like friggin', I don't know, fat Jason Statham. Like he was just this diesel dude you didn't mess with. Seriously, that was him, and he was like a bodybuilder and stuff, man. And then like he worked security for people, like Mr. T without the mohawk and flair. And we just got to know him as this withered old crotchety man who spoke like. Anyways. Yeah, well, no, I mean, John Hurt was one of these dudes. He was in like his 40s in Alien, but he looked 106. This dude ever since like across his whole. I'm sorry. I really do love his work, but you can't get past that. It's just like,
I chuckled and dang near choked on my coffee here because I'm looking at the fact that he was Richard Rich in A Man of All Seasons. Yeah. And I'm sitting here like, he looked old. He was in that role. Yeah, man, he forever looked old.
Yeah, but I mean, he did great work. Like he took roles that really allowed him to use that look and his specific characteristics to work with them. I got a couple of them listed here. I'll just run them down because I knew most of these, but I'm a film buff, and it's hard to actually realize that most people don't know all these things. Most people haven't seen 1984, the movie. They've read the book, the movie. There was a film. It wasn't good.
I didn't even see the film. I got to step my game up. I'm reading the book now.
Yeah.
Rereading the book.
Yeah, the film was old school, man. 1984 came out in 84. Yeah.
All right.
You may have seen. Well, okay, it's pretty famous now. Do you remember the old? It's an Apple commercial.
Okay.
From like the Olympics way back. They parodied it on a bunch of things. The most famous one, I think, for our generation would be in Futurama with the Planet Express guy from the 80s.
Yeah.
Who came back and made like, ran the business, made a commercial for them.
Yeah.
It was actually parodying this old commercial that parodied the John Hurt movie.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's the one where everyone's watching the screen and it's this head saying all this fascist communist stuff to people, and they're all just like drones. And then this one person runs in. In the original, it's like a sledgehammer. She just like swings it around. In Futurama, it was the Planet Express box.
Yep.
So, yeah, that came from 1984, the movie, which was popular at the time. Dude, I think it was mostly just off the juice of the story.
Probably.
But John Hurt, spectacular performance in there.
Yes.
Yeah. The rest of the movie is tired and boring. But I mean, I'm not gonna lie to people. But over the years, different generations would identify him across different roles, from films like Midnight Express, from TV roles like The Naked Civil Servant, which is one not a lot of people know, but was really like a groundbreaking role. He was one of the first dudes, like prominent actors at that point in his career, to play a transvestite.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. True story. Got this guy, Quentin Crisp.
Okay.
And he played a man who lived his life in England, mind you, who has really strict laws had really strict laws against transvestitism and homosexuality. So, dude, I mean, he was one of the dudes to tackle this head on, and like still, like he's been knighted. So still earn accolades from such things, Also, one of my favorite roles he did, which was more recent, on Doctor Who. Yeah, he played the War Doctor, which no one really speaks of. He's the one that calls himself. Yeah. Dang it. Most famously, the Elephant Man. I mentioned that.
Yep.
On Wednesday, January 25th, same day, he passed away from pancreatic cancer. Yeah. So he was 77 years old. He'd been struggling for a long time, and they finally took him. All right, so Sir John Hurt, we salute your catalog.
Yes, sir.
Remember you from V for Vendetta.
Yep.
As Aragorn in the original animated Lord of the Rings.
Yep.
And from several other projects, and we wish you well. Rest in peace, sir.
R.I.P.
All right, and finally, one I know you're dying to talk about, Jay.
I'm sorry, I shouldn't be chuckling at the passing away of someone, but This person's a legend in some sort of way.
A legend in sadness and human indecency.
In many ways.
Yeah. Founder of World Star Hip Hop dies at a San Diego massage parlor. The most appropriate place.
If you're gonna go out,
yeah,
you need to go out to a massage parlor.
It was either that, trying to steal a flat screen in a flash flood, or in a mob battle, not fight, not fisticuffs, full on battle over a bill at Chick-fil-A over less than $7.
He really could have went down like that.
Had to be. But no. Passed at a massage parlor in San Diego.
If you have to die at a massage parlor, I hope that it was a happy ending.
Kevin Kulp, ladies and gentlemen. Kevin Kulp.
Nothing but class.
Woo! Well played. Okay, so Lee Odenot, a.k.a. Q.
Just Q.
Founded World Star in 2005 and made the site into a more curated form of YouTube. It's now centering on music, police videos, and most infamously, like we mentioned, clips of fights and public sex. Now, on January 23rd, he was at a business identified by police as a massage parlor. And when he became unresponsive, I'm sorry, I shouldn't laugh, but it's one
of those sort of things where it's like when you create something like World Star, and even the way the story was written, it was really vague. It was like he all of a sudden he was unresponsive. He had a heart attack and he was unresponsive, and that was it. We just found him at a massage parlor.
Paramedics couldn't explain the rigor mortis smile on his face.
We don't know if his pants was around his ankles. We don't know none of that sort of stuff. So it's very vague in how it was written on purpose. And honestly, based upon the fact that he was the guy who found World Star, I'm not surprised the story is written as vague. So it's what it is.
I wrote that in his will. But when paramedics arrived, they pronounced him dead. Apparently, the causes were heart failure and obesity. So you talk about hedonism, lifestyle. All right, so that was Q, founder of World Star Hip Hop. I would say rest in peace and mean it, but I'm pretty sure, you rest in something else, man. You found yours.
For real, man.
All right, okay. Now, actually, let's serious business. Let's get on to something a little more respectful. We actually need to talk about the Nintendo Switch. Now, Johnny, I want you to have to take point on this because you got the inside track.
Yeah, I've been following the Nintendo Switch ever since it got that first initial reveal trailer back in October. I've been following it before then when it was called the NX, when Nintendo announced that over a year ago. And I've been following it. There wasn't any information whatsoever, and there was a lot of rumors, a lot of speculation. There's still a lot more rumors and speculation, but what has been revealed, which earlier this month, on the 12th, Nintendo went for their supposed full-blown reveal, and so they went from their initial reveal trailer in October, from a really huge high on that. A lot of fans were really impressed. Everyone was excited. Hype was through the window. Sort of what you could sort of sense from different things.
I remember those initial previews, dude. The thing looked amazing.
Yeah. Yeah,
I'll also say though, so did the Wii U, and so did
Well, in a different way, I wouldn't put it on the same level of Wii U. I didn't think the Wii U had as good of an initial first reveal.
What?
Yeah.
I agree.
Oh,
I agree.
Yeah.
Haters.
I agree.
Haters.
I was
like, basically everything I thought you're supposed to be able to do with the Switch, I thought from those previews you'd be able to do with the Wii U. I was excited.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
Right. But you couldn't, and that was the big problem with
somebody
Wii
got
U.
misled.
That came later, and I admit I was wrong.
Yeah, and that's how the Switch was. It was basically like, hey, remember the Wii U and how you wished it was this one thing? Well, now it's finally here. It is that one thing that you wanted with the Wii U.
Sounds like Apple.
Oh, jeez.
So that was their first reveal, their first trailer reveal, and it was great, and a lot of people were excited. But there wasn't a lot of information about it, so there was a lot of speculation. And then they finally did their big presentation. It was an hour long, and the first things that they got out of the way, $300 price tag. It's coming out March 3rd, which was sooner than people expected. It has these very unique controls, these Joy-Con controllers. And what people didn't realize was that these Joy-Con controllers, people kind of speculated that they had motion control, but they went full-blown explanation when their first reveal trailer was sort of dumbing down anything else other than pure hardcore gaming. So when Nintendo finally did like their full "this is what the system can do" explanation, people sort of didn't like the fact that they were focusing too much on the motion controls and things that were sort of already done before. Now,
we'll see. Now that's the thing that gets me though. Everyone's still fixated on Nintendo's been doing the same control structure for so long. Like that's their thing. They're not really. I don't get the sense that they're open to change. Like I'm open to them trying anything new because Nintendo, for me, for years has just been stale. It's been kind of stagnant. I became an Xbox. I was a hardcore Nintendo player for most of my life. Well, actually, I'm old now, so I'm gonna say about half my life now. Time passes, my friend. Mistress. But I was a Nintendo player for a long time. I thought they could do no wrong, and then they just gradually lost me by not staying with the time, by not adapting. I get the sense that they're falling back into that pattern.
Well, in a different way, though. So everyone was sort of in that boat that you were in, where like Nintendo has burned people before, but from that initial reveal trailer,
so much.
from that initial trailer, a lot of people were like, "All right, I am potentially back on board," but the presentation and what they did. Now, don't get me wrong, there are some very new things that they're doing with this thing. The IR sensor that's on the right Joy-Con has basically Kinect functionality. It can sense depth with its IR sensing capability, so it can also, like, if you do paper, rock, scissors, it'll know that you're throwing rock or paper or scissors.
Okay.
Yeah, but that's all like flash and pan stuff. We'll wait to see if they can actually deliver. There's one bit of controversy. They're talking about Japan's getting all types of incentives for things that won't be available to Western audiences.
Like?
Something small things like color options even. Here in the West, it's going to be white and only whites. In Japan, anything they want. They can mix and match all types of good stuff. Over here, it's like very Aryan. They're trying to appeal to the true demographic. But no, you see what I'm saying though? It's limiting. And there's, as of right now, I can see no logical base for it.
Yeah. So Japan does do that. It's sort of like a historical thing. But one thing that they did do, which was very surprising, I never expected Nintendo to do this, was that they removed region locking. Which is a huge deal because the PS4 and the Nintendo, whatever their consoles are pretty much the only systems that get Japanese-made games put on them. And if you look at the Xbox, it's almost always like they'll port PS4 games to it, but they'll never make a game for the Xbox for that system.
Going on there.
Yeah. So that was a huge deal because there were a bunch of games that came out for like Wii or Wii U or what have you that only made it to like Europe, but never made it to the United States. So that is a pretty big deal. But going back just a little bit on one of the new main features is the HD Rumble. And I think that could potentially be a very big, very serious thing. I mean, as big as HD Rumble can get. But we're talking, this is some crazy new tech. Like, all right, so I'm going to hold up this bottle of water in my hand.
You got visual aids, man, really?
Yeah,
hey, man,
it was there, so I'm going to use it.
It's radio, my brother.
So I'm holding a bottle of water in my hand,
all right.
and I'm giving it a little shake, and I can feel like the water sort of move around inside this bottle.
He's shaking the bottle,
HD Rumble can simulate that exactly.
Okay. So I'm going to be very impressed by something the Dreamcast had years ago. Okay, all right. Now let's wrap this up.
Come on, P. You really. I'm smelling a little haterade here on the Nintendo. I know you got burnt. I'm not going for. I haven't touched anything Nintendo beyond the GameCube. I was like, I'm good.
Their best system,
huh?
Their best system.
I agree. I was bought in as soon as they deviated from home systems. It's like, okay, we're just gonna focus on portables. I'm like, I'm not really want to mess with you no more. I'm gonna quit on Nintendo, but I'm a little excited about this. I'm really interested to see where it goes.
I am a conscious consumer. I pay attention to the 4 tenets. Okay, hardware, advancement. All right. Timetable and endurance. Okay.
And you trying to tell me you don't have any of that?
No. So you put those together and you get my standpoint on this. All right. So now, we got to wrap up because I want to talk about the Fig Talks, which you actually got to go to, man.
Yeah, I did. the Fig Talks. So we're talking about the Boston Fig Talks.
Yes, we are.
For which happened this past Saturday. And I went there. I set up a bunch of equipment, went to the press room, and basically just waited. I did schedule a few interviews with some developers, but kind of waited for some other developers to come and hit me. So I talked to a bunch of different people, saw what they had in line. 2 of them were board games, and there were 4 other video games that I got to take a look at. So the first board game is this board game called Aegis. And
wait, pause. We're familiar with Aegis.
Yes.
We've actually played it on the show and had the developers on as guests. They're friends of the show.
All right.
And still waiting for them to come back, y'all.
Well, actually, he said for you, he told me to tell you that he said, what's up?
Me specifically?
Yeah.
Look at that old spot.
Zephyr, you crazy bastard. Come on back when you're ready. Talking about Breeze.
Breeze.
Yeah, good guy.
And that game, from what he described, so he didn't have it on hand, but what he described for the board game, and there was some images. And if anyone wants to see like any of these interviews that I've done with these developers, they're available on our YouTube page, the entire interview in its entirety, and whatever it is that they show. I also throw up some graphics and stuff like that, so you can get the full-blown details on each of these individual projects. So that one, the basically robot board game, very tactical.
We'll give the link at the end of the show, by the way.
It sounds amazing. So that one that was a cool one to sort of hear about, but I couldn't actually check it out. The next one was a game by Copper Frog Games called Tattoo, the Game of Ink. And it's basically a board game where you have an arm on that's your board. It's like this empty arm, and then you buy tattoos and place them onto the board, and your goal is to make the best looking arm, and you have to sort of combo together these pieces, these different themed tattoos, in order to min-max your scores that you're getting in a very kind of like Scrabble kind of way, because there are like, double word bonus kind of thing.
Word score.
All right, but it's based on the tattoo itself. So that was pretty cool, very different.
Like bathroom wall game. Go ahead.
The next one was Subaltern Games. They had sort of a knock game called Trader Nightly. I don't know how to describe it. I would say just take a look at the interview, and it's better described by the dev. But it's basically the game knock game is basically you're interviewing this talk show host, and during the interview, you're also playing a board game that only exists within this world that you are experiencing.
So it's like you're at work, ignoring work to play a game inside a game.
Kinda, yeah.
Wow.
It's weird. He does a way better job explaining it.
It was 3 out of 5 days of my week, man.
It's very interesting. I recommend it.
James is playing it now.
Something like that, yeah.
There's there was another one, Delight's Plight, and this game I only got to see the trailer.
Sounds pornographic.
And it's made by Antunes.
A little bit.
I would say just from the animation work by itself, absolutely amazing. We're talking like Cuphead level of quality, except different style of animation, but like very hand-drawn animation. Everything that's in there is sort of hand-drawn animated, kind of like a 90s cartoon.
Okay. I'm going to put you in review mode real quick, legit. Would it have, considering that comparison, would it have the same problems that Cuphead had, repetition, because so much focus was on the actual look of the game, that longevity isn't really a problem. You can play it for a certain amount of time, but you'll get bored very fast.
So from what was just shown off in the trailer, and from what the developer that I interviewed him sort of explained, they change up the levels. They change up what you're sort of experiencing dramatically. I'm talking really dramatic. Like you'll hop into someone's heart and go into like this heart world where there's these strange things that I've never seen before attacking you, and you're attacking back, and there's like these ladies with like naked lady bodies with no head, but they have like these little tassels connected to their nipples that then connect to like these flying creatures that are attacking you. It is absolutely bonkers insane. I think the first part
what Johnny's saying is, so when the stuff wore off, he was having a great time.
So it's a children's game.
Yes, it's a children. It's basically, I would say, like Heavy Metal, the movie, combined with like Animaniacs style animation. It is really
Wow.
awesome. Really awesome.
I'm glad you said that because I was envisioning, no, you're riding in a car with Denzel. He hands you a pipe and tells you, if you don't smoke this, we have a problem.
And
All right, so it's the Boston Fig Talks. I mean, to cut you off, we're starting to run short on time. It's the Boston Fig Talks. This was pretty much an exposition of Boston-based companies showing off their stuff.
Yes.
And you got a taste of this, man. You looking forward to the next event?
I am. They definitely had some interesting things there. I think their next event is going to be half a year from now for their main Boston Fig, the more public one. This one was a developer-focused thing where other game developers sort of talk and have talks and sort of teach each other different nuances of game development, game design, things like that.
Mm-hmm. All right, cool. Cats can actually check out more information if they want on some of the Boston Festival of Indie Games happenings and events at bfig.com. That's correct, right?
That is correct. And also, if anyone wants again see the interviews, you can see them on our YouTube page.
Yes, youtube.com/geekdown. All right, so I'm looking across the table at this smiling gentleman right here, very debonair individual in his Cosby sweater, who's the creator of, we actually have visual aids this time, so I'm showing the camera, isn't that just bugged out, of TimeWatch. Oh, Johnny got the thing up. So
I got it up on Steam.
Now I look at the
stream.
All right, but, from the mouths of babes themselves, Kevin, first of all, thanks for joining us.
Of course, thanks for having me.
All right, Kevin Kulp, you want to give us a quick breakdown of what is TimeWatch?
Sure. Okay, so TimeWatch is a pen and paper role-playing game where you play effectively time cops from any point in history. You can play a caveman, you can play someone from the far future, what have you.
You had me a time cop just so I can rock that sweet mullet like
Nice.
Wait,
I thought I had you punching dinosaurs in the face.
Well, I mean, we'll get there.
You had
All
me
right,
a
fair
bunch of Nazis in the face.
Well,
You brought me.
There's a lot of flexibility. Okay.
Hey, baby, I got two fists, babe. Yeah. Oh.
So, point is, you're a time cop. Your job is to fix history when someone else screws it up. So, somebody else sabotages some kind of historical event. In order to make history go to what they want it to be, your job is to figure out what happened, work your way back or work your way forward, and fix it so everything snaps back into place.
All right, okay. Pretty simple, pretty straightforward. I played this game. It is not that simple, not that straightforward. This is the most involved. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm having a blast, but it is involved. It is deep. All right. The characters are dope, by the way. I'm not sure if it's all prefab because you can create your own. But I myself am playing as Murdoch, the 1940s detective. You know, and
Okay.
yeah, chain smoking all my way through, talking like this, sweetheart, and I got my 6-shooter, and I'm ready to kick some bootay across time. And I've been having a blast. What I like about it is it's really freeform.
Yeah.
Like, I've been playing D&D, and it's a structured set of rules. This has its own structured set of rules, but everything's malleable. Like, instead of I'm going on this mission, I can only do this. I can choose what I want, and down the line, I can also roll to see what else I can introduce to gameplay. I'm trying to be I'm speaking obtuse terms. I'm not sure how much you want to
let me point out my favorite rule of the game. So you're a time traveler, right?
Yeah.
Which means that you can use time travel to your advantage. It's sort of the Bill and Ted thing.
Yeah.
So let's say
exactly.
Okay, so someone's taking you captive. They've got you tied up, or you're sitting in a chair. They've taken away your weapons. You can say, "Screw this. Tomorrow, I'm going to go back in time and duct tape a pistol underneath the table."
Yeah.
And as long as you haven't looked under the table, you make your roll, you reach under the table, you pull out the pistol, you shoot the person. The same sort of thing. You're in a burning building, you can't find an exit. You say, "Tomorrow, I'm going to go back in time and change the blueprint so that I can find a way out." You crawl into the next room, there's a fire exit there. You spend your points, totally works.
All right, see, now that's the level of depth I actually haven't thought of, and that's what I like, the fact that as outlandish as you can think, the game allows you to go more like, left field with it.
That's awesome.
All right, so now this was available through Kickstarter, and I do believe you've achieved the goal, and I got a little beyond that. Am I correct?
Yeah, so we kickstarted this a couple years ago. It's published by a company called Pelgrane Press, who's over in London, and they're fantastic. They own the basic rule set that the game is written around. So I partnered with them, used their rule set in order to write it. When we kickstarted it, we didn't actually ask for that much. We ended up clearing 6 figures. So we were incredibly lucky. And people were incredibly kind to us. And then, unfortunately, what that meant is we added about 200,000 words to the actual game design, so that it took an awful lot of time to actually finish it up. But I like the final results.
All right, cool. Well, you say that's the bad thing almost, man.
Yeah.
I like the fact that it's like, okay, well, we plan to release a pamphlet, We have funds. Okay, let's make this thing thoroughly. Yeah, bro. No, seriously. I'm like, you say pen and paper RPG. First thing that comes to mind is like 3 kids got together in their basement. It's raining outside, and the bullies are like, "You got to come out." So they grab a notebook and a pencil, and they sit there. Okay, I want to be a wizard. You can't be a wizard. I want to be a wizard. Okay, fine. I want to be an orc. You can't be an orc. I want to be an orc now. But you're a wizard. I want to be an orc wizard. And then you want to punch him in the face. This is not that. Okay, this is. Well, I'm saying, see, there's a stigma that goes along with the concept of RPG, tabletop RPG, pen and paper RPG.
Get you. I like it, man. I haven't played one in forever, but I grew up on that, man.
I'm making a point.
Fair enough.
Yeah, okay. Imagine, I work in a proper company by day. I don't do this. I shell shrimp out of a van and then vend it. But when I'm on my lunch break, there, I play like RPGs with coworkers. Start off with Magic the Gathering at a proper company. This is my adult life, people. And we played D&D for a while. We started playing TimeWatch.
All right. Okay.
These are things that people can do and have fun with and jump in. You learn the game fairly quick. I'm sorry. This is supposed to be an interview, and I'm just kind of like. All right. So, Kevin, what kind of returns are you seeing from? Well, no, seriously, like this game has apparently taken off like gangbusters. I heard about it. And that same day, I heard how many people were obsessed with it. I mentioned TimeWatch to my friends who actually play games, and oh yeah, dude, I gave that Kickstarter, it was great. I'm like, damn, okay, cool, way to play it close to the chest. Tell me about it. How have you gotten a huge response from fans?
So we, I think we had about 2,000, roughly, more or less, people in the Kickstarter itself, and it's been selling steadily since then. I mean. Right now, there are a whole bunch of time travel TV shows out there.
Yeah.
That probably can't hurt. You could totally duplicate the TV show Timeless with this. You could duplicate Travelers. It's designed so that you could pretty much hack it into any time travel movie or television show you want it to be in.
Nice.
So I think that helps a little bit.
Well, was that a lot of that the inspiration for TimeWatch and the established storylines in that?
Yeah, when I wrote it, I didn't want something that was just like, oh, you have to play this one thing. Like, you have to play a time cop. Screw that, right? So there's a horror version of it. So you can be fighting these supernatural horrors that live outside the time stream and break their way in. There's a version that lets you duplicate Quantum Leap. There's a version that's
nice.
Oh boy.
That's clearly not Doctor Who, because there's a really good Doctor Who game out there already. But if you want to play something similar, we can do that. Okay. There's one where you play people who are just beginning to invent time travel. All sorts of different ways that you can play depending on what you happen to find fun.
Nice.
Yeah. One of the things that's kind of neat. I'll give you a quick example of how a game might run. That makes sense?
Yeah.
So if you there's some spoilers in this, by the way, for the adventure Hatchet and Axe. So if you're going to play that, jump forward 3 minutes.
Okay.
So in that adventure, you're during the Cuban Missile Crisis, and you find out that Earth has been turned into a radioactive hellhole. And you go back in time to figure out why. It turns out that President Nixon screws up negotiations with Khrushchev.
Oh,
and
so
somebody
far
says,
sounds legit, yeah, historically accurate.
What happened to Kennedy? Nixon's not supposed to be president.
That's what I was like, huh?
Exactly.
That don't add up.
So
Okay.
you go back in time, you track down what happened to Jack Kennedy. He's a barber in South Boston.
Wow.
And the reason he's a barber in South
He
Boston
lost the election.
is no. He never got into politics because his dad didn't have enough money to send him to private school or to college.
Oh.
And the reason his dad didn't have enough money to send him to private school or college.
President Woodrow Wilson stamped out organized crime.
Well, no, kinda. It's because, according to apparently, at least some people think that Joe Kennedy made his initial fortune before he invested in Hollywood by bootlegging during Prohibition.
Oh, absolutely.
And the bad guys have gone back.
Did I just step on your with actual?
No, it's pretty close.
Yeah.
But the bad guys stopped Prohibition from ever happening. All this ripples forward to get nuclear war, the Cuban Missile Crisis.
Yeah.
So you got to go back to 1899 and stop a pretty prominent person in Prohibition from ever pushing things that way.
That's awesome. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
I love the sound of that. 'Cause one thing I've always loved is Elseworld stories too.
Yeah,
we've talked about this actually.
Yeah,
my obsession with Stan Lee creates recreates the DC Universe books.
Oh, sure.
Yep.
Yeah, things like that, and this is right up my alley. I will say though, as someone who's new to tabletop RPGs, I'm very happy I had someone who's established in it. And Johnny, you're old school yourself, but you're pretty silent here, man.
So I never played this game before, but I did hear about it. Actually, what you said, there were people that were excited. I heard about it through a friend that also did tabletop RPGs, and they sort of talked about this game and what it was. And them explaining it was like weird. Like I didn't grasp the fact that you could just succeed at things. And then I read through the first probably about 50 pages today. I was like speed reading through it, and I'm reading like the mechanics of the game that are in there, and how there's really just two main skill sets: the investigation skills and the general skills. I think I said it right. Skills.
Yeah.
And like as
like-
long as you have a point into your investigation ones, you will always succeed at it.
You know the way to think about it? Think about it like, remember the X-Files? There's the
Yes.
X-Files?
Yep.
Right. When Agent Scully does an autopsy, she's never going to miss the clue because she rolls badly. If she does an autopsy, if there's a clue, she's going to find it. Works the same way.
Yeah.
So if I'm just that gangster, and I roll, oh, he missed the shot. It's like, no, I didn't. I spend like 4 points, and then suddenly I missed the shot, or did I? It ricochets off 3 walls, goes through a ring in the back, creates a puff of smoke, and it looks badass, and then through the guy's head, through the back of the head there, because, I'm that nice.
Actually, you can. So, from what I read, you can actually make something like that happen, something that's as interesting and badass as what you just described, by dumping more points into your skill.
No, totally. That's
the way to think
about
about
how it happens, just like in real life.
Yeah. You know what it's like the TV show Leverage, or basically it is competent people doing their job competently. We refer to it as competence porn, right? You're not you play Dungeons and Dragons, you start playing D&D, you kind of suck, right? You just don't you miss half the time, right? In this game, when you really need to hit, there's mechanics to help you do that.
Yeah, and it also I didn't get too far in, but it seems like it's promoting you from being clever with what you're doing, with the actions you're doing, and it rewards you, as long as you have, I guess, a good GM, it'll reward you with perks and bonuses at the end of the mission, as long as what you did during that mission was awesome. That's what it seemed like to me.
That's a cool like mechanic that's in there too. I'll let you talk about it, but I dug the crap out of this.
Yeah, this is actually one of the basic game system that this is based on. The points, you don't get points back, generally speaking, during a mission, which means you kind of get crappier as you go along, and that's because it was designed for horror. This is designed for action, right? If you're gonna punch a dinosaur in the face, you want to be able to do that. So if you do something awesome, other people throw poker chips at you that you can then use to refresh your abilities and do more awesome stuff.
And that's completely up to the player. That's not like built in any specific like structure. It's just like, yo, you did something ill, man. Here's a token. I thought that was, that made the game more fun for all of us.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I think the biggest thing that so anyone out there that is familiar with tabletop games, I guess the best way to describe how easy this one is to get into, and like I said, I was speed reading through, and I already had like a decent grasp for how it works. 1 dice. It's a D6.
Yeah.
That's all you need.
1d6.
Nice.
You can get that anywhere.
I'll be honest. I don't have a lot of patience for games where I have to keep looking up rules. So I only write stuff where I can keep all the rules in my head.
I'm not gonna lie, man. That was one of the things that bugged me about D&D too. It's like I was pretty much the tank character, which doesn't do much but hit hard, which I love because I've got this whole big ass bag of dice and I'm rolling. Okay, I can do this. I can do this. I can do this. And I had no patience for spells and things. All I wanted was to throw as many down as I can and get the numbers. This game eliminates that. This just wouldn't be commercial. Damn, it was supposed to be an interview. All I'll say is I like that mechanic.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
Well, so hearing about, I guess, some of the inspiration behind that, I'm guessing you kind of feel like Pat, how just going through all these sort of like Nazi rules of other RPGs where you have to like really, you have typically like 1 or 2 people that absolutely know the rules, and the moment you try doing something clever, they're like, no, you got to roll this rule. Forget about.
They give you that finger. You give them.
I don't even want to play no more.
Forget about looking up the rule set for like initiating a grapple. Like forget about it. Your head starts going crazy.
Oh, those good old days. And don't get me wrong, right? I love all sorts of games, and I had a D&D campaign that lasted 16 years, right?
Wow.
So I love all sorts of stuff, but for this,
Hope you won.
If it's a time travel game, you kind of want it to be high action, right? You want cyborgs and laser beams and dinosaurs and that sort of stuff, and for that you need something light and fast.
Well, I kind of like to see since Stranger Things was so heavily based in D&D. Let's see season 2 heavily based in TimeWatch, and they like travel back to the future. And it was like, riding Hitler like, a horse. Like, wait,
So I have a question for you. Reading through this, it seems like the story writing and the world building becomes that much more difficult to do because dealing with time in a storyline can be pretty daunting because there can be instances where you kind of create plot holes, like what was that movie Interstellar that had a major plot hole because of time travel. So like once you realize that there is this big plot hole, it kind of ruins the experience. So I'm just wondering, for this TimeWatch thing, do you find it at all to be difficult for a game master to sort of come up with their own campaign? I mean, what I saw there, it seems like there's a lot of different campaigns they can go through, but how difficult do you think it would be for a game master to just come up with their own campaign?
Pretty easy, all things considered. What you described, which I usually describe as paradox, like you think of the end of Back to the Future when Michael J. Fox starts to disappear, all that's built into the game. So basically, there's things that you can do that end up causing paradox. As you start to, you have basically your willpower keeps you anchored in the time stream. That starts to erode, you start to vanish. And if you drop below 0 in that, you start to fade, like literally fade away. You drop below -6, and time decides that you're incredibly irritating and turns you into another person, and your friends have to track you down what happened to you. And if you drop before -12, you don't exist. You never existed. Everyone has to redo every mission that you've ever been on, and they're incredibly annoyed at you, but they don't remember who to blame.
Wow.
But so basically, if you go back and kill somebody's grandfather or something like that, there's mechanics in the game that just make that totally seamless. What I've found is, I'll tell you what makes this game easy to run: Wikipedia. Holy crap. It would be incredibly hard to run this without quick online resources, but I can come up with a pretty good game plot in 10 minutes, 15 minutes, like half an hour tops. If I'm spending more than 20 minutes on it, I'm trying too hard. So it's not that bad. We had a game not that long ago where one of the bad guys, and there's a bunch of bad guys in the game. There's sentient cockroaches from the far future.
Okay, gross.
There are psychic dinosaurs from an alternate reality where the meteor never hit the Earth, who are really irritated that humankind reset things. One of the bad guys
I like this as vermin. What's that about?
One of the bad guys is a sentient language. So it's a language that's self-aware, that wants to be learned and wants to be spoken. But when you learn too much, and it colonizes you and turns you into a giant hive mind.
Jeez.
And in that adventure, the heroes find out that someone accidentally infected Taylor Swift with that right before Shake It Off came out. And so overnight, pretty much half the world is infected. So I didn't need a lot of work to come up with that plot. Let's be honest. That was 5 minutes on Wikipedia and trolling for a couple photographs. Like, that was it. So, I mean, most of the time I spent was trying to find Shake It Off on YouTube so I could play it for people. So anyways, if you want to do this hardcore historical thing, you can do that, and there's a lot of good resources for that, but you don't have to.
Kevin Kulp admitting he's a closet Taylor Swift fan. We've outed you, sir.
Closet.
Now that was just an excuse. That was just an excuse to play your favorite song for you. It's like, okay, look, I wanna give you details about the game I made. Sure, here, play this video. I'm just gonna be in the back like this. All right, so Kevin Kulp, creator of TimeWatch, you want to give our listeners, anyone who's surprisingly not in the know, how they can get down with TimeWatch.
Absolutely. So this is published by a company called Pelgrane Press, and you can head over to pelgranepress.com. That's PELGRANE press.com /TimeWatch, I think. And you can track it down there. They have it digitally in PDF. They've got the hardcovers. The book's pretty gorgeous. Full cover.
Yeah, no kidding.
Full color, about 390 pages.
There's our Twitch audience. I'm sorry to interrupt. I can show our Twitch audience, the listeners on EMF radio. You better get up on that.
Yeah, there's about 300,000 words in that. Lots of different ways to play, and they will send it to you. Cool. You can also, but before anything else, check your local game store, because if they have it, that's where to buy it.
Indeed, the game is TimeWatch. You can look it up at your local game store, or go to pelgranepress.com, or you can actually probably track down Kevin on Twitter. On social media.
I'm on Twitter at Kevin Kulp, or at TimeWatchRPG.
All right.
So Kevin, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Absolutely, thanks.
All right, now Jay, I'll look across the table, my man.
Yes.
You got the inside stuff on WWE Royal Rumble.
Absolutely. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on Royal Rumble because I'm excited about the next story.
Oh, yeah. The man said this is passe. He's not excited. But I'm kidding.
I'm not gonna front. I'm not. I mean, she kind of run of the mill WWE event. So Royal Rumble took place.
The Royal Rumble, word?
It was, man. It was. I mean,
30 man.
To man.
The death. Okay, not
you overselling this, brother. You overselling. All right, so this took place in San Antonio this past Sunday. Of course, what WWE's doing with their major 4 pay-per-views is that they're linking it up with NXT, so NXT has their takeover event too. So NXT takeover happened the night before in San Antonio as well. Just quick down and dirty with that. I'm not gonna give you the whole thing, but the one thing I do want to highlight is the Authors of Pain was able to scoop up the tag team title, the NXT tag team title from DIY. It's not really surprising at all that they got the tag title. It's just kind of what it is. It was blah, honestly. But the big event was when Bobby Roode captured the NXT title from Shinsuke Nakamura. Well, we all know that at some point Nakamura is going to make his appearance on the WWE main event roster. But it was great to see Bobby Roode just make it happen. Bobby Roode's been a guy who's been in the game for a long time, wrestling the TNA for a long time, and for him to be able to finally capture the gold in NXT, we know he's going to have a little more time in NXT before he gets pulled up to the main event roster. But it was really good for Nakamura to be able to drop the belt to him, to Bobby Roode. And we'll see what happens from there. That's all I want to give y'all for NXT. Let's roll into the Royal Rumble.
Yeah, boy.
All right, so I'm going to tell you the Royal Rumble match. I'll save that for a minute. Let me talk about the matches. There's one match that I saw some of but didn't get a chance to finish, and it's when Sheamus and Cesaro dropped the belts to the club, to Gallows and Anderson. I'm a little angry about how that went down. It happened during their pre-show. And, hey, I'm sorry, fans. If you're mad at me, so be it. Hit me up on the Geek Down, screaming and yelling. I don't watch the pre-show. My understanding is that if it's on the pre-show and it wasn't on the main card, it tells me the match wasn't worth watching to begin with.
What?
That's how I look at it.
Sir.
So, for you to put a tag team title match on the pre-show is a slap in the face. Because how am I going to catch the pre-show? Put that on the regular show.
Nah, they're trying to inspire. Not to contradict you, brother, but I feel like this is their way of trying to inspire by doing it differently. Folks actually watch the pre-show so they can take in the whole pay-per-view. You know what I'm saying?
That's like saying,
get cats interested, and also that's what they're gonna. That's where they're gonna shuffle out the lesser knowns. You know what I'm saying? To actually get cats to check them out on a more regular basis.
Put the lesser knowns on the pre-show is what I suspect, but don't put the tag team title match on the pre-show. That's like saying we're gonna have a 0:45 for a football game happen during the pre-show, and then when 7 o'clock hits for the actual football game to start, there's already a score that happened. It's like, nah, man. When I tune in on this time, I'm expecting certain things to happen at this time.
Nah, brother.
Don't show me like 5 minutes of a movie 5 minutes early. Like, tell me, you say the joint starts at 7? It starts at 7.
No,
I don't want to be like, I should have tuned in at 6:30. Then I would have saw the tag team title switch hands.
All right, look at this way. Look at this way. No one goes to a boxing title fight and watches the undercard matches.
Exactly.
What I'm saying is, but if you went and suddenly Lennox Lewis comes out of retirement to fight Tommy Hearns,
I'm mad that it's happening then. Tell Lennox Lewis and Tommy Hearn to wait.
Nah,
wait till 7 o'clock when the show starts.
It gets your ass in that seat earlier, man. They need tickets to sell. All right.
I hear what you're saying. I hear what you're saying. So okay, all right. So I'll eat that a little bit. Shame on me. But at the end of the day, the club got the tag team title, so it was great for them. Honestly, let's see how long this runs. I mean, I don't have faith in WWE and letting them hold on to the belts that long. The Owens kept his belt, which was good for him. It was really good for him to keep the belt against Reigns, with Jericho hanging from the top. The only thing I was interested about this, that Owens took a couple of big bumps. One bump was that he stacked maybe 10 chairs on top of each other. What? And he got back body dropped into the pile of chairs. Like, chairs were opened. It wasn't like just like a bunch of folded chairs. He was open aluminum chairs, and he just went right through them.
That sounds telegraphed.
So
he may as well just put a bullseye on the middle. You know, I
mean, that's what the spots are. All the spots are telegraphed, man. All the wrestling spots are. Yeah, but for him to take a bump like that, it's just like, ugh. You know, it's like, man, he's hurting today. He hurting this morning. I mean, I know he was on Monday Night Raw. I caught some of it before the show started, but hey, it's what it is.
Is that on some Shane O'Mac off the top of the cage stuff?
Not that good. I mean, Shane O'Mac almost died. I mean, when Shane O'Mac prayed and did the sign of the cross before he jumped, and Undertaker dove out the way because he wasn't about to have Shane O'Mac fall to him. His back just went straight through the table. Ooh, yeah, man. That was ugly. That was mankind ugly.
All right, so you kept the suspense, man. Give us the lowdown. We run out of time.
Yeah, I know we're running out of time. All right, so real down and dirty. Cena went up against Styles. Cena became the 16-time world champion, tying Ric Flair. A lot of folks are angry about that. That no one should have been tying Ric Flair. Like no one ties Ric Flair. Ric Flair is the man. That's Nature Boy.
I like
Nate.
Cena. I think he's earned his due.
No, you don't tie Nate. All right, Nate. That's a legend. But I mean, woo, you're right. That's Nate, man. You don't tie Great Nate. I mean, when you have Killer Mike having a song called Ric Flair, you the man. But any event, he tied Nate, and it's what it is. I mean, it was all right.
When you have Daniel Tosh, parroting Ultimate Warrior, that's when you have, and that's the level of prestige we're talking about here.
Pretty much.
Go ahead with your name.
But so, hey, it's what it is. It was a nice match. It was all right. Mm-hmm. Oh, New Japan threw some shade on it too, which was hilarious because we all know that the best match of I say within the past 10, 15 years was Kenny Omega versus Okada, which was a couple weeks back, and I did a review on it real briefly. But they threw some shade on them on Twitter, saying that Cena and AJ Styles match was nice, but it was nowhere near as good as ours, which is absolutely correct. Royal Rumble match, honestly, there was no surprises at all, and that's what made it run the mill. I was expecting somebody to come out, someone we haven't seen in a long time, or maybe a brand new star that got in the indie scene to make a debut. Nothing. It was the same old WWE guys, and the same old guy won. It was Randy Orton, another old guy who won. And it's frustrating because you have a lot of young blood there, and you telling me you couldn't give none of these young guys an opportunity to be able to win the Royal Rumble just for seeing it. Oh yeah, second time winning it. Damn. And don't get me wrong, I like Orton, but for pro wrestling standards, he's an old guy. Yep. I mean, he started when he was like 20 or something like that. He was the youngest world champion. But I mean, he's still considered an old guy. He's probably like 34, 35. But in pro wrestling years, he's an old dude. Yeah, and for him to get the title, for him to win at WrestleMania, at Royal Rumble, it was blah. Honestly, it was blah. The only good thing that came out of this is that Ty Dillinger, the Perfect 10, came out at number 10. So that was the only thing that was pretty good. Other than that, that's all I got for Royal Rumble. I give it a C, or I give it a. You got the network, watch it. It's not really a rush to watch it. You got the network, just check it out. You didn't miss anything real big. But that's really it about the Royal Rumble. I know we got a little bit of time for the next story.
Yeah, dang, kind of a bummer. But thank you, brother.
You're welcome.
All right, so just this past week, BET ran a biopic adding to the legacy of the Jackson story and the story of the Temptations. Now we have the story of New Edition.
Yes.
New Edition, Boston-based original boy band, original recipe boy band. All right, before there was Backstreet Boys, before there was 98 Degrees, before there was New Kids on the Block, there was 5 skinny-ass black kids from Boston.
That's right.
New Edition. I got to check this out. You got to check it out, my brother?
Absolutely. I had to make sure to check it out before my black card got pulled.
All right, well, to give the
black folks would have came after me, boy, if I didn't see that.
Well, updating Facebook is right on your wall. You check it out yet, brother? Watching. All right, man. Okay, so go on to give the people your initial impressions.
I mean, I loved it. I absolutely loved it. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I had to catch it on demand the first 2 episodes. Mm-hmm. I had to binge watch those in time for me to catch the 3rd episode.
I think that was actually the best way to see
it. It was easier to do it that way as opposed to the big giant breaks in between. Because these things are 2 hours a piece, so we're talking a 6-hour 3-part series, and it was done very, very well. I read Bobby Brown's book a few months back, and it just. Much of the stuff that he said in his book went along with it. And the good part about the whole thing is they had all 6 members. Yes. They were all co-executive producers on it, so they could be able to get their say in it. And just even the way they went about it was awesome.
Because that made sure it was more respectful to them. They didn't go. Some of it was dramatized, but they didn't go like nth degree to make anyone seem too outlandish, too unrealistic, and go for some the supernatural guy that brought the group down or something, or this turmoil, a hurricane swept the bus. Nothing like that. They kept it within realistic bounds and still told the good story.
Absolutely, man. I mean, the writer of the script, he actually went to each member and interviewed each member individually and then wrote the script and showed it to all of them, to the point where there are members of the group who were like, wow, that happened? Oh, man, I didn't even know. Like, for instance, hey, if you ain't seen it, shame on you, need to go see it. So it's a spoiler I'm going to throw out there. The fact that Ralph Tresvant got approached when he was a kid by Maurice Starr, who also founded New Kids on the Block. So when Pat said that the foundation of boy bands is New Edition, it is. Because it would have been no New Kids on the Block if it wasn't for New Edition. So Maurice Starr approached Ralph Tresvant first and offered him a solo deal when he was just a kid. And Ralph Tresvant turned it down and was just like, listen, man, this is OP or Orchard Park. This is OP.
Down for his people.
This is my people. So I'm not, you take me, you taking them all. And none of the group knew that he did that. So that was like a big shocker for them. Ricky Bell, like having a drug problem. A lot of people did not know that.
I actually did not know, and I actually researched that after I saw it. Not until I actually saw this biopic that I have any information. I think I liked it too. I did not have that information, and then I didn't realize how severe it was. Also, for some reason, like this actually cleared up something for me when they showed them like together. For some reason, I always got like the faces of Ricky Bell and Michael Bivins. Thank you. Reversed, and I'm like, I'm always thinking like I'm listening to Michael Bivins on like the radio, and I'm like, yo. That's that short dude. Yeah, from New Edition. He's done well for himself. You know? And no, this cleared that up for me. I really want to call out the acting in this. Like,
absolutely.
I didn't realize that these guys had so specific speaking styles and mannerisms until I watched this, and I'm like, yo. This actor actually speaks just like I've heard, Ricky Bell speak, just like I've heard Michael Bivins speak. This dude, then Bobby Brown nailed it.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
The kid actor and then the adult actor nailed it.
Between him, I think I actually have to call out him and the guy who played Michael Bivins. He really nailed it, including again the cadence. That's what really got me because I believed him. I didn't think the teenage Michael Bivins looked too much like him. But he sounded and acted like it was spot on. I was damned impressed. You don't only see that kind of that level of acting on just like random television, I mean,
mind you, that was Bashir Gray, I believe his name is, played Michael Bivins, who's on Empire. Who's actually a recording artist himself. So I mean, he did a great job as Michael Bivins.
All right, wait, what kind of music, man? Don't say like polka or something.
Nah, hip hop, R&B sort of thing, mostly rap.
I gotta ask, man. It's like, yes, he's one of the greatest Spanish flamenco.
It was funny. He was actually on the Daily Show doing pub for the movie, and he was talking about how his mama was like, "Hey, so what role did you get?" He goes, "I played Michael Bivins." She goes, "You better not mess that up. That's my baby." He's just like, "All right, mama, man, I ain't gonna mess up Michael Bivins. Sorry, mama."
I do have to call out too. Like I mentioned, it is dramatized. Dramatized. Where'd I get that word from?
I don't know, bro.
All right, but dramatization, I think. But it is dramatized, and like they still kept it within like a respectable means of. I think some things were parsed down and edited just so they would make more sense within the time they had. Because the entire situation with the law firm that got them out of their contract with Star, and then ended up screwing them with their contract with MCA. That's like 14 people in 2 different companies, and they parsed that down to one guy, played by Michael Rappaport. Naturally,
who always plays the shady white guy in hip hop movies.
He does. I love him though, man. He's like the one. He's like the one, like white dude who's always got a ghetto pass. Always, like he's always welcome. Just cuz.
He be jumping the gun sometimes, but I give him this dude.
You talking about Higher Learning?
No, I'm talking about when he jumped the gun and said that the only reason Ronda Rousey's fight got stopped because she had white girl privilege. It was like, her fight got stopped because she was getting rocked. That's why.
White girl privilege and 47 punches straight to the nose. Like,
so he jumped the gun. I was like, I hear you, but not in this case, homie. She got rocked. She got rocked. But go ahead.
It plays through the New Edition story. It gives a lot of good background information. Plays through the story till about 2005 and culminates at the was it 25th or 30th?
25th.
25th BET anniversary celebration, which was a beautiful performance, and all the music in this was spot on. It was a lot of recreations of the New Edition songs that I thought were done really well.
I mean, even the videos, they recreated the videos, and that was just amazing to see that. It really was.
In 2016, these are guys that were willing to wear the "If It Isn't Love" costumes. It's grown ass men in like ballet slippers and like anyways, like the lowest of the low of early 90s fashion. And they did it beautifully. I also like how they didn't shy away from some of the more harder hitting performances, like when we talked about Bell's drug habit. When this dude broke down, I mean, spoilers obviously, but this stuff happened in history, kids. Like when he collapsed. And, well, for not 2 scenes when Stro had the heart attack, and then they had that second fight that was all emotional. I damn near teared up.
Me too.
I felt the emotion. I'm like, again, this dude has to be what, like 16, 17? And I'm sitting there grown ass man like, his uncle's having a heart attack, man. My girlfriend's like, you okay? I'm like, yeah, I'm okay. I don't know what you. Yeah, no crying. It
was sad, man. I mean, even that little emotional speech they had afterwards when Bobby and DeVoe had that speech before DeVoe's wedding. It was just like, I knew at that day I went too far. Like, oh man, I'm getting goosebumps just thinking about it. For Bobby Brown to tell him, I know I went too far when he had the stroke and you got mad at me. Because everybody else got mad at me, but you were the one who kept it together. And when I pissed you off that day, I knew I went way too far. I was just like, oh man.
That's in his book too, right?
Yeah, it was. I'm pretty sure it was. I mean, a lot of his book was New Edition, but his life of him and Whitney. So the New Edition piece was enough. But I mean, the only thing that shot away from the book is the Gumby. Because they rushed through the Gumby. They rushed through the Gumby on the movie. But actually, the one thing I felt that robbed is because when Bobby saw it, Bobby.
Pause. Anyone who doesn't know, the Gumby was Bobby Brown's signature hairstyle.
Yes.
That he wore. It was basically just a flat top with a slant.
And the slant happened because a guy was checking out some chick walking by, and he cut Bobby's hair messed up. The one thing the movie did is show Bobby be upset about it. But in actuality, Bobby was upset about it. Then he kept the mirror, he stared, he goes, you know, I think I can make this work. And that's why Bobby said, let's keep it rolling. And he was like, I can fix it. Bobby's like, no, I think I can make this work. And that's how you see the signature Gumby in, was it the humping around? Every little step.
Prerogative?
Every little step.
Every little step. Okay,
Every little
yes,
step video.
He had that red.
Yeah, the red little thing.
Which the white void, for some reason, was very popular back then.
Which, of course, if you haven't seen it, Mike Tyson did an amazing job. Him and Wayne Brady did an amazing parody of Every Little Step. But in the event, in the actual miniseries, they recreate that video for Bobby. So like all of them have their own recreated videos. Yeah, recreation of Poison, a recreation of all of them. So it's pretty good.
All of it. Very well done. I was damn impressed. I can't recommend anyone check this out highly enough. Go online. You should be able to catch it. I'm not sure if it's on Netflix just yet, but I know if you go to BET.com, you can probably get it. My only beef with it, the only negative I can say, is this is my own personal one, is it was a BET production, and you can tell it was a BET production to points. It just had those familiar earmarks. Like at one point, we got actual beef, and I gotta acclimate to the new guy. So now we're gonna sit down and have a heart to heart out of nowhere, apropos of nothing. Just yeah, man. So we have no reason to be in this room together whatsoever. I think I actually met you 4 minutes ago, but now let's work out these issues that you had that aren't even with me. Like, okay, all like the big turmoil culminates at either a wedding, a graduation, a concert, or seriously. Yeah. And what do they have? A wedding where like the big turmoil between them culminated. Their performance, difficulties culminated at one big concert where they finally worked together. And I'm like, you all like seriously, this same template that y'all been using for 20 years somehow worked its way into this. I like the movie. Everything besides those, and I think Johnny Gill's teeth, for some reason, that brother's like, every time he smiles, like, could sing his ass off, but that's all I could see.
He's like Broadway trained, brother. I mean,
Broadway trained, and he's like, siphoning through Baleen there. And anyways, it was New Edition on BET. I think we run out of time. I enjoyed the hell out of it. I highly recommend everyone check it out.
See it. If you're a fan of music as a whole, I would say it's an American staple because we pay homage to boy bands. We may laugh at it, but many of us listen to Backstreet Boys. We listen to New Kids on the Block. I mean, this is the center of it, the original recipe of it, and it all started by some chubby black dude from Dorchester who was a charlatan. Took these poor kids from the projects and recreated it and made an empire. And did the same thing again with poor white kids on the projects. He did the same thing. Except he probably didn't get nearly as much money from the poor white kids he did get from poor black kids.
But Kids on the Block, pioneers of appropriation. No, sorry. Okay, no, I like it. I'll cut them a break, man. All right, this has been the Geek Down here on WEMF. I want to thank you all for joining us for another action-packed, fun-filled episode after we got past that initial round of death. As always, you can check us out at WEMFradio.com/ just do a search for Geek Down and we'll come up. Also, hopefully you've been watching us on Twitch. If you haven't, you can check us out every week at twitch.tv/TheGeekDown. One word. Also, hit us up on YouTube and check out the videos that we post every week of the episodes and of our random hijinks at YouTube/GeekDown. Also, SoundCloud. You can get all this goodness parsed down in nice, neat little edited tidbits there for you at SoundCloud/TheGeekDown. You can't get rid of us. We're all over the place. On Instagram, The Geek Down. Look us up on iTunes, The Geek Down. Anywhere your mama doesn't want you to be, The Geek Down. And also check us out on geek-down.com. If you have heard anything on this episode you want to chime in on, hit us up at geekdownradio@gmail.com. And I know I just threw a ton of links at you. All this stuff is on our bio page on everything, on YouTube, on Instagram, on SoundCloud, and all. So basically, you find us on one, you'll have the information for all of them. Until next week, until next Monday, I want to thank Just Johnny.
You.
I want to thank my brother JM.
Peace.
The Thriller Priest.
Yeah.
I want to thank our in-house guest, Kevin Kulp.
Absolutely.
And check out TimeWatch. You can find it at
PelgranePress.com/TimeWatch.
All right, cool. Thank you. And I wish I hadn't smacked my microphone else. That would have been flawless. All right. I want to thank DJ Herbie Herb. My man. All right, I want to remind you all you can catch us next Monday night. Same bad time, same bad channel. Until then, be excellent to each other. Peace.